Hi, everybody. Happy January. We are in a brand new year, a brand new month, actually a brand new decade, and already 2 weeks into January. I'm Julie from Sister Mediums. I'm here to bring you your mid-month January Oracle card reading, which is the first of 12 that I'll be doing this coming year. I've asked my guides to hone in on the energy that needs to come forward, what needs to be said, where the focus needs to be, where our priorities are, and that also goes with the territory of tying up loose ends and making room for abundance and new things to happen. I've used 4 different decks today, one of them being Wisdom of the Oracle. The second one here is the Ascended Masters cards. Then I have the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And then I've got Archangel Michael to end off with. And I'm just going to get right into it. The first card that I pulled for you today is the TikTok card. And this card has to do with the divine timing of things, either tying up loose ends and just making room for new things to happen, or also the start of new beginnings and having already tied up those loose ends. When I look at the hands in the card, they're open, they're holding the clock, which, you get that TikTok reminder here that the clock is ticking and that we have to get things done in a timely manner. The shattering around the clock is the nervousness and anxiety that accompanies those feelings of when we don't get things done on time and when we say, oh, wow, like everything's gone to hell now because I'm off my timeline. And, it's just a reminder that it'll all get done in the divine timing of when it's supposed to happen, and not to put your health at risk and to just fall off the bandwagon because something didn't get done in a timely manner. The balloon over here also represents new opportunities and things taking flight. So those ideas that you have, put them into place. It's never too late to manifest things. If I look at this card from a relationship standpoint, it's also a reminder to make time for your partner, for your loved one. And, we hear all too often that we don't have the time to go on a date. We don't have the time to spend with each other. We've yet to go on a vacation, just the two of us since the kids came along. And, it's really about prioritizing and making the time in our schedules to say whether it's a date once a month or just a quiet dinner at home, just having that time to reconnect and reestablish those relationships. Remember why you fell in love in the first place. With this card, I also want to touch upon fertility. A lot of clients that we see have a lot of stress and anxiety about not being able to conceive or not conceiving on their clock or on their watch or when they had planned. And this card's also a great reminder that things happen when the universe wants them to, in that divine timing. And it's a reminder to just keep that high vibrational energy, having faith in the process and having faith that things will happen in your life as they're meant to. The other thing is praying to Saint Gerard. Saint Gerard is the patron saint of expectant mothers. And so, when you want to put that intention out there and you want to manifest that energy, I would say start praying to him as though it's already happening, and then just leave the rest up to God. Okay, so that's your first card. That's your TikTok card. This card fell out of the deck, and I'm a firm believer that when a card falls out of the deck, it's meant to be pulled. And it's a great little reminder, and it's a happiness card. It's happy. This card is all about joy, and it's all about abundance, and it's all about just being free. If I look at the way that she's standing there on top of that lock and key, she's standing on one foot. She's standing with ease. She's not grounded. She's not saying, I've got to keep my feet firmly planted in this particular moment. It's let me stand here with freedom. Let me have fun. Let me just be at liberation with myself. And there's that key underneath her, which is a reminder that you hold the key to your own happiness. Okay, it's just a card, a reminder to be childlike sometimes, have fun in the moment, look at the world through maybe a clown's eyes. And the one thing I want to talk about here is the balloons specifically. She's holding them and they're attached to her wrist. I don't know if you can see that there, but sometimes when we think of the analogy of holding onto a balloon or holding onto a string, sometimes it's that we're holding onto things too tightly, that we're afraid to release them or we're afraid to let them go. And this is also just a reminder to be childlike in that energy and allow yourself to be free. Just, loosen up a little bit, have fun with things. And I'm kind of glad that fell out because it's a great way to start the year. Just a reminder that life is beautiful and to just enjoy it. So that's your second card there. This next card, I love this card. It's a very powerful card. It's the High Lord of Gratitude and Service. And the two words here that are important are gratitude and service. When this card comes up, it's a reminder to you for that inner self-reflection and to really ask yourself if you're living that life of gratitude and if you're offering service to others. I think the true way of living, especially with what comes out in this card, is a reminder that we want to put ourselves out there. We want to do good. We want to be of service to others, but we should be doing it without expectation. It shouldn't be, I want to help you so that I can get something back in return, or I'm going to be kind to you, or I'm going to pay it forward because I know that that's going to come back to me. When we're living our life and we're living a life of service, those things all naturally come back. That is the law of attraction. That is the universe saying, I've got your back. That is just beautiful energy coming back to you. So it's a reminder there to put yourself out there and to help others. The other thing about this card, which is fantastic here, is he's holding a calla lily, and calla lilies represent brilliance. They represent truth. They represent holiness. It's also a reminder in this card, when I go back to gratitude, is it's a brand new year. Have you started that gratitude journal? We talk a lot about this in our healing sessions. It's amazing when you put out there what you're grateful for, how much more abundance comes your way. And sometimes it might just be, I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my children, I'm grateful for my job or my career. Whereas other times you might get into more detail and spend more time writing in that journal and actually talking about lessons that you learned, or I'm really grateful today that I was able to help somebody and state this situation. I always think it's wonderful when you go back at the end of the year and are able to assess all the things that have happened in your life and all the things that you have gratitude for and what you're grateful for in that moment. The other beautiful thing about this card is that there's lots of abundance around it. You've got birds here, you've got all earth elements here, you've got the sun beaming. He's just a ray of light. And I think that that's just what happens naturally when you live a life of service and when you're giving what you naturally have on the inside. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost anything. It just costs you to dig deep into who you are and, execute all those amazing traits about you and be able to share that light with other people. That's the fun part about living a life of service. You're going to offer it to people who really, really need it, and in return, they're going to be eternally grateful. Okay, that always comes back. Think of like a boomerang. What you put out there is exactly what you're going to get back in return. This next card here is the peace offering card. Okay, you've got a Lakota Native American woman there, and she's sitting on top of a white buffalo here. This card is about forgiving. This card is about arguments. This card is about misunderstanding. And you might be the person who sits in a position where you are always the bigger person. You're always feeling like you're the one who's got to give it. You're the one who's got to apologize. And, that might be so, but the card itself is all about you feeling at peace and you having forgiveness within yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean you're forgetting what someone's done to you. It doesn't mean that you are ultimately or automatically releasing yourself of all of the pain and the discomfort that's happened in that friendship or in that relationship or within that experience. But it means that you're able to live that life where you can say, we're all human, we all make mistakes. And for that, I'm truly sorry, and I'm open and ready and willing to forgive. There's a story about this woman. So in her hands, she's holding a pipe, and she'd given that pipe over as a symbol of peace and as a symbol of prayer and to amplify that energy. And that is the peace offering. It doesn't mean that it has to be something tangible, where you're concerned. But again, it's just being able to extend that hand and say, I'm willing to talk about the experience, or I'm willing to talk about where we went wrong. What happened with this was once she gave herself over and she became vulnerable to be able to forgive, the buffalo that she was riding had turned into a rainbow of colors. And so the story goes that those colors represent humanity, gender, race as a whole, and that we are all one and represent one love. And the white, of course, representing purity within relationships. So that card, it can be hard for some people when you've got to be the one to dig deep and to offer that peace. But ultimately, when you're offering peace to others and you are giving them the opportunity to also bring peace back to you, you're going to live a lot lighter. You're going to be releasing a lot of that heaviness that, we naturally hold on to when we're having issues, relationships, and problems within relationships. Okay. There's also this white light that's coming down on her, which is just another reminder that you're divinely connected. Purple again, reminding you that there's spirituality all around you, and if you dig deep within, you will resolve everything that is happening in your life, and you'll be able to live more peacefully. Okay. And then I have the Archangel Michael. So we've been going through a lot in January. There are a lot of people who've been able to tie up loose ends and already create boundaries and set the intentions that beautiful things are coming their way. But it's also been a month of sadness and devastation in the world. There's a lot happening. And so what I did was I held the deck and I asked Archangel Michael specifically for a card that would help all of our followers and all of our viewers just move forward and get back to a time where our thoughts and our intentions are divinely guided by love. So I want to read this card to you. It's believe and trust. Okay, that's what came out. When I look at the pictures in the card, it reminds me of childhood. It reminds me of not an imaginary world, but when we can imagine in our head a place where there is no worry and where we don't feel so heavy with our surroundings. It's just a reminder to retreat back to nature and every once in a while just take a step back and assess where we are in life and just know that things are going to be okay. If I look at the colors in the card, they're very elemental. They remind me very much of fluorite, and fluorite is a stone that helps to take away stress. It helps to decrease the nervousness and the anxiety that we carry within us. If I look at the colors within the water, that right there is also flow. Fluorite also represents the earth elements, so water, air, fire, and earth. The trees here, very tall, very deeply rooted. You've got the Archangel here with these huge wings on his back, a reminder that you have protection around you, and him holding that sword before you. And the sword before you would be a reminder that there's protection all around you. I'm offering you that protection. So having said that, I'm going to read this to you. Feel free to read it at night before you go to bed. It says, before going to sleep tonight, Archangel Michael, please enter my dreams and replace my fear with faith and with trust. Let me be filled with strength, with courage, and with confidence. And I really feel that moving forward this month, as long as you have faith that you're on the right path, that you're out there doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you feel good in your heart that you're going to attract all the amazing things that you want to this 2020 year. January is just the first month. We're just getting started with all the amazing things that we have to manifest and to bring in. So with that, I want to leave you with blessings on blessings. Thank you for tuning in. Daniela will be back here in a couple of weeks for your February angel card reading, and then I'll be back mid-February, and we're going to be talking about love. I'll specifically be asking our guides what it is that we need to focus on when it comes to matters of the heart in and around Valentine's Day. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in a month.